So the actual site, as we found it, was small and unremarkable and awkwardly shaped. It sloped 1 metre along its length, it was wedge-shaped. The side passage felt cut off by the 1.8 metre high boundary wall and hemmed in with a 3-storey gable. We knew that the true potential of the site lay on the other side of the boundary wall, this being the Union Canal. But the existing house was totally unengaged with it. So we focused on making the most of a modest budget in the most creative way possible, and by cleverly siting the extension and knocking through in 2 places, we unlocked the existing main rooms, enabling us to link these living spaces together for the first time. The house now has direct access to the front and rear gardens, and the new sunroom performs a function akin to a hide that allows the clients to view nature along the canal each day. And as a practice, we love to use natural materials and incorporate existing materials and features to create a feeling of calm and familiarity. We had a good dialogue with Historic Scotland, and we agreed to minimise the massing of the extension as far as we could. And we literally hunkered the extension down behind the boundary wall. The boundary wall itself's protected. So using clever detailing and a concealed gutter, we've also kept the roof design simple, creating a clean and elegant projecting eaves line that hopefully is appropriate to the canal setting.
The east side is a working hill farm, and the steading itself is an 18th century stone-built traditional Scottish farmhouse and steading, which previously had been converted into holiday let, and we decided it was time to take another look. We were very conscious that we wanted to be respectful of the traditional stone buildings by producing something new but equally special, equally spectacular. And we decided that the best way to do that was to build something uncompromisingly modern, but surprising and playful in some ways. And the palette of materials that we used wanted to be extremely simple, naturalistic, but very, very modern and very, very clean, in stark contrast to the stone exteriors of the buildings. The spaces are very small, but very considered, and we had to be extremely careful of the positioning of everything. Tolerances were microscopic. We were very keen to make the most of the surrounding landscapes, but from the cocoon-like shelter of the inside. And from the outside, you can see all the way through the building to the hills beyond. And that was important, this relationship between the outside and the inside.
We were approached by our client who was looking to extend her 1930s house to build a new studio in which she would make her printmaking and watercolour painting. We could see when we visited the site that it was a narrow, constrained space along the side of the house, steeply sloping, so quite a tricky site to develop. We also had to provide a new utility space and better access up to the front of the house, to the main door, and up to the rear garden. So coming from the house, you enter onto a landing, which has some utility space and access to the back garden. And then using the slope of the site, you drop down into this quite dramatic studio space, which is top lit with a north-facing roof light, and then this large glass block east-facing wall, and this together brings in a really lovely diffuse soft light which is good for making art. From the outside, the glass block wall is framed with a rendered frame, and this is read as another bay window on the front elevation from the street. The client was great, bringing forward her own ideas and references that helped make sure that this was exactly tuned to her needs.